Before I play the last piece, I'd like to express my gratitude to all the clergy, the staff, the music committee, and the choir at Christ Church, and to all of you for allowing me to share this music with you. It's been my life's work. I do it mostly in private, but it's meant to be shared. Yet, in our world today of smartphones and schedules and streaming, it's hard to find a place where folks are willing to stop and listen, to contemplate the abstract yet deep meaning that most of this music possesses. And so, I'm truly grateful to each of you for availing yourselves to do exactly that. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned the popular hymn, O Come, Emmanuel, which is hymnal number 56, in case you want to look. The original Latin version of this hymn is a metrical setting of the O antiphons, dating from the 12th century. John Mason Neale's English translation first appeared in Hymns Ancient and Modern in 1851. Neale was an Anglican priest firmly entrenched in the Oxford movement, which was an undertaking that wished to guide the Anglican Church back to its Catholic roots, particularly in liturgical practice. This naturally led to the creation of anglicized plain song for use in the liturgy. Thus, O Come Emmanuel was born, or perhaps reborn. There was no extant music for the 12th century Latin verses, so Neale chose a tune from a 15th century French missal, and that tune, oddly enough, was originally meant to be sung at processionals during burials. In any case, the pairing of the text and tune became a liturgical smash hit, and so that now it is synonymous with the Advent season. I wrote this organ suite on the familiar tune for no particular reason, except that the ideas were occurring to me. The first verse is fashioned on a classical French plein jeu, which is an organ piece that uses the full plenum and usually has a tune in the pedal as well. So that I've done that. You'll hear big chords in the hands playing the tune, and then the pedal does not play the bass, but plays a trumpet solo in canon with the hands. The third verse at Veni Adonai, or Come Lord of Might, is petit hommage à Pierre Cochereau, who was the organist and famed improviser at Notre Dame de Paris back in the 1970s when I was a student at the Sorbonne. I like to think this sounds a little bit like something he may have improvised. The fourth verset, O Jesse virgula, or O Come Root of Jesse, came when I asked myself the question, what if a French organist from the 17th century wrote a récit or solo piece today? Maybe it would sound like a funky sort of thing, maybe Kool and the Gang meets Louis Couperin. And with that, I began to remember my days in New York as a young man. Boomboxes and voguing drag queens and gay boys in New York who used to hang out on the pier at the end of Christopher Street. I used to hang out there too because I was chefing at a restaurant nearby, and I would watch them. And I incorporated in this movement the two iconic oscillating chords of Sal Soul Orchestra's Love Break, which was the song the Voguers used back then. Madonna sampled it in her song Vogue, so it may be familiar to you. The sixth and seventh verses I composed a couple of weeks ago right here at the Christ Church organ. The sixth verse, Veni O Oriens, or O Dayspring, uses a soft ostinato with a melody and counter melody in the flutes. To me, it conjures up a stargazing astronomical twilight, slowly moving to nautical twilight before the sun crests the horizon. And the final verse, Veni Rex Gentium, or Come King of all peoples, usually translated as Desire of all nations. Well, the composer only gave me this score on Friday, so it's a work in progress. And I beg your indulgence, but anyway, thanks again for coming, and without further verbiage or ado, here we go.